This is Homefront Headlines with Casey and Amanda Weinstein. We are here to wrap up the week's news. Do you have your drink?
I'm going with LaCroix today.
It's coffee again. I need the caffeine. All right. Although I'm on a pretty energy high after the debate. It was awesome.
The debate was awesome.
I laughed. I smirked. I had all the same facial expressions that Kamala Harris did.
Yeah, I was giggling.
Oh, we laughed out loud. The concepts of a plan got the biggest laughter from us, I think.
Yeah, I had a little bit of FOMO because our 10-year-old really wanted to watch the debate. And I was like, can I go wake up Nora? And Amanda's like, no, it's 10 o'clock at night. She needs to sleep.
No, you did that at the Taylor Swift endorsement.
Well, really, when Taylor Swift endorsed. I might have been the most excited person in the house when Taylor Swift endorsed.
Oh, you were running around the house. You really did try to wake up our daughter.
Yeah, but I wanted on the debate, it keeps getting better and better. And I knew as I was watching this dismantling happen, I was like, I'm going to get to see it again. I'm going to get to see some commentary. And it's been like a fine wine. It's been,
I don't know, but Trump says he won. That's why he's not going to debate her again.
Oh, oh my God. He must be, as Kamala said, he's having a really hard time coping with the fact first that he was fired by 81 million people. And then that he just got his butt handed to him. I mean, she was so devastatingly prepared for him. And as I watched it and then I've thought about it, I'm like, they must have prepared at a table and said, this is how you take ownership of the debate. This is what you're going to say. And this is what he's going to say. He's almost like a robot programmed a certain way.
I don't even think it was that. She was the exact right person with the exact right temperament and the exact right approach to politics where you don't know what he's going to say. Yeah. Right? Is he going to talk about a concept of a plan or is he going to talk about cats? It's really unclear. So we're not going to prep you on what he's going to say. You just know whatever it comes out of his mouth is going to be a lie. So just, try to rein it in and bring it back in and, poke him a little. Just poke that bear. The poking the bear part, she was masterful at.
I just comparing him to our children. And our, just to be clear, this is no slight against our children because we ask them we ask them to do something and hey, you need to take care of this. And they may slack for, a few minutes, maybe an hour. They might miss something for a day, but it's been 9 years since Trump has been able to, couldn't even lie about it. To put a healthcare plan together, 9 years.
Yeah,
and all he's got is a concept of a plan. And just to be clear, he doesn't even have a concept. He doesn't have a concept.
No.
I don't even think he could articulate anything about a concept of a plan. And he's had 9 years to do it. And he finally got checked on it. And it was just amazing.
But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
I'm going to see if that could work for me, though. When the kid's I'm super hungry, is dinner ready? And be like, I have a concept of a dinner. Is that good enough?
You've been asking me to clean the cushions, on our day bed, our outdoor day bed thing. And I wanted to be like, I have a concept of a plan to get that done.
You did. And concept was not good enough.
But then you asked me in a certain way and I was just I better do this.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Trump has to be asked in a very certain way. He needs a deadline. I don't know. If you're going to have a healthcare plan, well, really, you probably should have done it before you became president the first time. But since that didn't happen, is there a late turn-in date? I never like late turn-ins.
No. And I really like when I pull the dirty water. We have a little spot machine and I clean the cushion and the water was so dirty. So it was really satisfying to finally clean the cushions.
There's a lot of dirty water in politics that needs to be there. And really, it's just spewed from Trump to deal with all of this. And oh man. And I think we knew it was coming. Did you think he was going to talk about the cats? First of all, in case people don't know.
Yeah.
What exactly did Trump say about cats? And why is the GOP talking about cats so much?
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
This is very similar, and I hate to take such a serious take on it, but in the 1930s Germany, there was a thing called the blood libel against the Jews, where they claimed Jews were kidnapping and abducting and literally sucking the blood out of people. And it's horrible and disgusting, but that is how they fed this antipathy, which grew to hatred.
Demonize the people.
Right. And if you
blame
substitute
them for all of the problems that you have because you can't take ownership of your own problems.
Right. Well, they don't have any policy. They don't have
No.
anything. They have concepts of plans, if that. So they turn to hatred and bigotry. And if you substitute Jews for migrants,
Haitians.
It's exactly Haitians. It's exactly the same playbook that the Nazis ran. And
so over this playbook. Like, get a
it's
new
exhausting
playbook.
It is
I mean,
exhausting.
speaking of the exhausting playbook, we'll come back to the cats. But after the debate, people are talking about how legit, this was not a joke. I checked on it. It's happened in our state house, claiming a witchcraft was going on. This is why Kamala won, or the commentator, or the
witchcraft.
It was witchcraft. Are you kidding me? We're talking about centuries old strategies for putting women down. We're going back to witchcraft. And then now we're going back to Nazi Germany strategies of just claiming outlandish, terrible things against a small population who is small enough that, like, we also need to say something. We need to say something that this is not true. And Springfield is right near where we used to live.
For 8 years, we lived in Enon, Ohio, which is like a suburb of Dayton and Springfield, right between the two communities.
Just drive south until you hit farmland. And
right.
That's where.
And what I paid attention to this week was there was a big outcry from business owners and community members who have talked about the Haitian population having been a vital workforce, addition to the workforce, in addition to the community. And
they didn't just show up. They were recruited. They were recruited to come here because we had a declining population in a town that needs new jobs, that needs people to come. And the Haitians filled that role. They said, we're willing to come, we're willing to work hard. And this community has been on a different trajectory because of it. It doesn't mean there aren't issues. Growth is hard, but you know what's even harder than growth is decline.
Right. Springfield is one of these towns, sort of a post-industrial town that was a lot bigger. It was the capital of Ohio at one point, I believe.
John Legend's hometown.
And it's got this wonderful history. And, you know, when we were living there, and still there are these great efforts to revitalize the community and to grow it. And the population has dramatically declined over decades there. I mean, in half. And so, you know, the reality is this surge in, you know, in growth in workforce has been welcomed by many in the community. But one thing.
Well, no, that's an important point that you just said. It's been welcomed within the community.
Right.
When we usually hear complaints about immigrants, it's not complaints from within the community. It is someone outside the community that has no idea what's going on, JD Vance or Donald Trump, then coming out with these complaints about what's going on in a community that they've never been in, that they have no experience with, not actually listening to people in the community.
No, they just see an opportunity to divide. As Kamala Harris said in the debate, they see an opportunity to divide by race. It's a Black population that has moved in. So that JD Vance sniffed an opportunity to whip up hatred. And congrats, JD. Now there are bomb threats that are forcing, like today, schools and City Hall and other municipal buildings have had to evacuate and send kids home. That population is fearful because, you know, just like we see the pattern of libs of TikTok and, you know, these right-wing influencers who we found out this week a lot of them are funded by Russia to whip up and divide.
Russia, not our friend. Look up the history. They don't really like us.
No, they have now they've put people in danger. And people could get killed. People could get hurt because of this, because of a complete lie about Haitians stealing and eating dogs and cats, which has been debunked. And yet JD Vance now has doubled and I think tripled down on it. And then it honestly shocked me. Like, I didn't think it's hard to shock me with Trump anymore. But when he brought it up, I gasped. I mean, we were sitting in bed just watching it.
Couldn't believe he said it.
And we looked at each other like, holy shit, he did it.
I mean, Trump keeps bad company. I mean, I'm sure he's bad company. Like, I would not want him over. But he also keeps bad company. Like, any respectable person who's ever even worked for him or worked with him is against him now.
Right. Over 200 Republicans, including his vice president this week, his attorney general. Like, I'm sensing that the middle of the country politically is exhausted by him. And the debate gave them a wonderful change candidate. And I'm going to say one line where it was like the greatest feeling when she said, I'm not Joe Biden. I'm clearly not Donald Trump, but I do offer a new generation of leadership. And I was like,
I love
oh my God.
that. And it was the perfect response and theme to go with the fact that to defend the Haitians eating cats, Trump said, well, I saw it on TV. I swear I saw. I'm like, are you talking about Alf? I don't know what you're talking about. I saw it on TV. And guess what, old man? Not everything you see on TV is true. Not everything on the internet is true. Like, it was such a huge, just, but small thing that just showed his age compared to hers and this new generation wanting to take our country in a direction that most Americans want to see it going.
What I saw was like, I was like Mario in Rainbow Road in Mario Kart, and this beautiful off ramp for so many people just was like, oh my God, no, we can just glide and fly out to this new place with a new generation of leadership. And I think she gave a lot of people sort of that self permission to say, this is a very viable candidate. She stood up so strong and was so prepared. I love how they tried to criticize her this week for being prepared.
Too prepared.
They're so
unfair.
She made people nervous.
Too good at this. It's just not a fair competition when you're better than the other candidate.
And like feedback in meetings and briefings was that sometimes she made people nervous because of how prepared she was. I'm like, that's what I want in my president. I want her to make Vladimir Putin nervous. And I want her to make everybody feel like when they sit down at the table with her, they better be prepared.
Yes.
She's there to
holy cow. If you're in the White House and you didn't have the understanding that you should probably come to a meeting prepared, I think you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I just, I felt so comforted and good. And it just like early voting, I'm on the ballot this year. I think we have 53 days. And early voting starts in like 8 days.
Early vote, get out there, vote early.
We're gonna vote early.
Vote early because shit happens, and if something happens, I think so.
We're saying it.
Shit does happen.
It does.
So vote early because you never know. Could get sick, could get COVID.
Yeah.
End up in the hospital.
Going around again.
Vote early.
Yeah. So I thought that was an amazing thing. And then we have to just talk one more time about the Taylor Swift endorsement.
I knew you were going to bring it back there
because. It was so well done, and I thought it was written in such a way that was not
signed Childless Cat Lady.
That was amazing. I mean, JD Vance is gonna like wear that brand for the
know.
rest of his life.
Her life seems totally miserable sitting there with her.
Just one thing to note:
traveling the country and
the world,
packing stadiums. Oh yeah, the world.
I mean, with the NFL went into orbit around her. The biggest cultural thing in our country is like the NFL. And then Taylor Swift like joined in with the NFL because of Travis. And then they started kind of orbiting around her. Like she is the biggest thing.
Also an Ohioan, can I just say?
Cleveland Heights.
Yeah.
Travis. And it was just so well written in a way that I felt like it invited people to say, hey, this is my decision that I made. Here's why.
I made a thoughtful decision.
Yeah. And for so many people who follow her and support her and love her music and love what she's all about, I feel like it was effectively really well done. And Trump immediately and JD were like, well, nobody cares about an out of touch billionaire, which Trump is an out of touch billionaire. Who cares about
Hulk Hogan, right?
Right. But the whole reason, one of the big reasons she made the endorsement is because Trump did a fake endorsement with AI. So don't let Trump tell you that he doesn't care about that Taylor Swift endorsement. He faked it. He made an AI one and he faked it. And ironically, that was like a self-own because she went out and did her thing.
We admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans.
Friday's drink, toasting to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Also Kamala Harris. Well done.
I'm bringing
Madam President. Well done. Oh, wait, before we go, the trolling that happened beforehand with the drone. Did you see this with the drone show?
No.
Look it up.
Oh.
Look it up, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, driving into Philadelphia, there were banners, there were different signs about crowd size, something she poked him during the debate.
He couldn't
help himself.
Oh, he got so triggered. by the crowd size.
No, and the moderator is still like, he had the last word on everything.
I know.
He spoke more than she did, but she was still hands down one that was able to get her point across. Well done.
Yeah. And I just want to say,
great.
Closed out the week. It's like, she was in North Carolina. She did 2 rallies, maxed out capacity in both, one of which was like 22,000 people.
Oh, North Carolina.
Look out for North Carolina. I'm telling you.
Let's go North Carolina.
The vibes and the energy. And that was a lot of AI work that they had to do to fill in all those people and to pay them and bust them in, like they were probably all Haitians.
Oh,
all those people, right? I don't know.
With their cats.
I'm sorry. I hope that thankfully the local leaders in Springfield have.
And our Governor DeWine. Standing up to support the Haitian community, an important part of Ohio. And in Ohio, I think we have experienced it as welcoming. And that is something we want people to know about Ohio. It is welcoming. It is welcoming to all who come from whatever background. And knowing that in Ohio, that is great for Ohio. And that's what we want to see, not disparaging comments.
That is a great way to end, is that the vast majority of Ohioans, including people in Springfield and in Ohio, where we used to live, are really good, decent people who are welcoming and open. And that's why it's so infuriating what JD Vance has done and embarrassing. And we're going to make him a one-term senator, but we got to get through this election first. So the kids are coming home pretty soon. I'm going to enjoy the quiet for a couple more hours while we.
This is the only time we get to talk. Other than this,
I know it's like the first time I've talked to you. I was traveling, you were traveling, all the things.
It's true.
Our dogs are all exhausted right now so it's good. Anyways, it's been wonderful to close out the week with you and you. Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Be safe. Have a wonderful weekend. This has been the Homefront Headlines.
Oh yeah, Homefront Headlines. That's what we decided. Tell us what you think. If you think it should be called something else.
Homefront Headlines with Casey.
Homefront Headlines.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have some special guests join us soon. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.